The Ridiculous Six, 2015, movie synopsis by Zillur Movies Recapped. Within the previous West period, a relaxed man named Tommy Stockburn, Sandler, is raised by native people, the place he's named, White Knife, as a result of his tendency to make use of knives. He is because of Mary and native lady named Smoking Fox, Jones. He has a run-in with a gang of bandits with eye patches on their proper eyes, led by Will Patch, Forte, and manages to outsmart them and a deranged, Indian racist meals proprietor named Clem, Zan, whose left eye is tousled. At his native village, a financial institution robber named Frank Stockburn, Nolt, comes by, claiming to be Tommy's organic father. Tommy explains to Frank that his mom was shot by a silhouetted man with a tattoo on his hand of a horseshoe when she was escorting him to high school throughout his childhood, one thing that has haunted his goals since. Frank additionally tells Tommy that he's dying of consumption, aka tuberculosis, however that he has $50,000 buried in a meadow subsequent to a pine tree, which he provides to Tommy and the Injuns. The following day, a gaggle of bandits, Frank was once a part of these bandits however retired, come to the village, led by the ruthless Cicero, Trejo, who need Frank to present them his huge rating. He gains some time again. Frank has the bandits kidnap him so he can make them the $50,000 on the so referred to as singing windmill at Jawbone Fall, in return for the bandits not attacking Tommy or the Injuns. After looking the meadow and never discovering the cash, Tommy decides he should discover one other method to receive it and save his father. Tommy units out on his quest to regain his father and decides that one of the best ways to achieve sufficient cash is by stealing it. Throughout his quest, Tommy discovers that he has 5 half-brothers, Mexican burro rider Ramon, Schneider, whose innkeeper mom Frank had a fling with, mentally retarded but happy-go-lucky Lil, Pete, Lautner, who has a powerful neck that makes him proof against hanging, feral-esque Herm, Garcia, who speaks indistinctly, guilt-ridden drunkard Danny, Wilson, who served as a bodyguard for Abraham Lincoln and by accident led John Wilkes' sales space to homicide him, and piano taking part in Black Man Chico, Cruz, who confesses to be solely 50% white, all of whom be a part of Tommy. In the meantime, Clem joins the Attention Patch Gang to attempt to discover Tommy to take revenge on him after Clem removes his solely practical eye for the reason that different eye patch wearers declare that eradicating the precise eye is a part of the gang's method. They usually kidnap Tommy's fiancée, however she manages to flee them as a result of Clem and heads out to search out Frank. When assembly Chico and Danny, they run with Chico's boss, the aggressive, at all times smiling saloon proprietor Smiley Harris, Keitel, who was a part of Frank's gang and owns a big golden nugget the brothers steal after Ramon decapitates Smiley with a shovel. Whereas stress-free and a pawn, Clem and the Attention Patch Gang present up, and whereas the brothers handle to overpower them, the gang handle to steal the cash the brothers stole. Hope is not misplaced for the brothers, as Herm, by means of Tommy's translation, tells them that a gambler named Ezekiel Grant, Lovitz, is internet hosting a playing sport with Mark Twain, Ice, and basic George Armstrong Custard, Spade, in Yuma. After efficiently robbing the poker sport, they head out to ransom their father. As nightfall falls, Tommy realizes, by means of a photograph carried by Danny, that it was Cicero who murdered his mom. Not wanting to place his brothers in Hert's method, Tommy units out alone within the cowl of nighttime to rescue his father and confront his mom's killer. After paying the ransom, Cicero decides to half methods, however Tommy insists on getting his revenge. Having efficiently killed Cicero, the half-brothers, who adopted Tom, have a reunion with their lengthy misplaced father. Realizing that Tommy's group now have $100,000 after rescuing the Left Eye Gang and getting their authentic $50,000, Frank double-crosses them, revealing that he was in cahoots with Cicero for a straightforward $50,000. Tommy then reveals that their group additionally has a Plan B, a hidden bomb contained in the bag containing the ransom cash. When the bomb explodes and commotion ensues, Frank runs off with Smoking Fox, whom his group has been holding hostage, inside a mine. Tommy runs after them and efficiently rescues his bride-to-be and capturing his father. Additionally, within the means of the combating, The Left Eye Gang by accident revealed that they lied about eradicating their proper eyes, a lot to Clem's rage. Again within the native village, Tommy weds Smoking Fox together with his brothers in attendance. Because the revelation that their organic father Frank Stockburn was not more than a two-bit criminal, the native chief decides to undertake the half-brothers as he did with Tommy. The Ridiculous Six is a 2015 American Western motion comedy movie directed by Frank Karachi and written by Tim Herlihy and Adam Sandler, and starring Sandler, Terry Crews, Jorge Garcia, Taylor Lautner, Rob Schneider, and Luke Wilson. As Completely Satisfied Madison Productions' first Western movie, the plot follows six males who uncover that they share the identical bank-robbing father, Nick Nolte, and thereafter got down to reunite with him. Launched worldwide on Netflix on December 11, 2015. The movie was panned by critics and is without doubt one of the few movies to obtain an approval ranking of 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Ridiculous 6 Feet is without doubt one of the worst movies to launch in 2015. Like Pixels, earlier this year Sandler has tried his hardest to make an unwatchable film. And like Pixels, he has come fairly darn shut. Because the poster says, The Ridiculous 6 Feet is a Netflix authentic movie. Mainly it is a film that skipped out on a theater run and went straight to streaming. Identical to the much better, Beasts of No Nation, which I shall be reviewing quickly. Clearly this is not the primary Netflix authentic movie and it will not be the final, however as of proper now it's the worst. Now, earlier than I'm going on ripping this movie to items, let's speak in regards to the few issues this film will get proper. The primary factor that I assumed this movie did effectively was its casting. In fact, this excludes Sandler. Like Shyamalan, his title has turned into subsequent to nugatory in each audience's and studio's eyes. A lot of the different actors are undoubtedly Sandler favorites, however they really look like they cared about this film. Some are a nuisance and others are clearly racist, however they genuinely look like they wish to be there. Then there's Sandler, the person behind among the worst movies of the final decade. Why is that this? As a result of none of his movies are any totally different. He casts the identical precise folks in each single one, after which does not even give a crap about what's going on. His clean stare and monotone studying of his strains is cringe-worthy in each movie his has made as of late. Together with this one, and identical to at all times, he casts himself because the hero of the movie. The person who can do no fallacious. The person who, even when one thing dangerous occurs, he's one way or the other scot-free. The Ridiculous 6 Feet is the epitome of this Sandler cliché. Right here he performs a Indian that has some very unclear tremendous powers. Tremendous powers that make him the unlikely chief of 5 different utterly random people who movies pretends are his brothers. Those who he happenstances by as he seems for his father. On this one line I've summed up the whole thing of this 2+ hour movie. It is such a easy plot line that, one way or the other, the movie forgets all about for extra than half the time. For 3/4 of this movie we watch these 6 silly, flat characters do completely nothing. In an extremely awful try to drag laughs from skinny air, there are so many utterly random scenes which have zero to do with the film. Scenes which might be actually solely there to get a gratuitous snicker out of. However, the laughs by no means come. What's worse is that this movie is not a so dangerous it is humorous type of film. It is truly categorized as a parody. A parody that's so extremely boring and lengthy that it may possibly be considered as a comedy. That is made worse by how racist this movie is. If a personality is not white or black, then he's a stereotype. We get stereotypes of Indians, Mexicans, and the mentally handicapped. It is so uncomfortable to observe that when the movie hits a legit joke you'll be able to snicker due to how horrible the whole lot is. The Ridiculous 6 Feet is a train wreck. At this level it is clear that Sandler now not cares about what sort of movie he makes. So long as he will get a paycheck there may be nothing that he will not smash. He wastes proficient actors' time with this pointless movie. The script feels as if it was ripped straight from Sandler's final movie and barely modified to match the previous West. Please don't waste your time on this movie. Should you really feel the necessity to watch a movie on Netflix, take a look at actually the rest. I heard rather a lot about The Ridiculous Six as a result of it is amongst Adam Sandler's lowest-rated motion pictures and likewise for its stellar solid. 2 weeks in the past I lastly sat down and watched it, and I used to be impressed that I preferred it greater than what I used to be led to imagine because of the rating and opinions. Tommy Stockburn, Adam Sandler, is a white man raised by Indians that after defeating a gang of one-eyed bandits and meals retailer proprietor Clem, Steve Zahn, is visited by Frank Stockburn, Nick Nolte, who claims to be his father and that he left as his inheritance, since he's dying of tuberculosis, $50,000. Nonetheless, a gang led by Cicero, Danny Trejo, kidnaps Frank and Tommy decides to retrieve $50,000 by himself for saving his father. Throughout his journey Tommy will meet 5 different sons of Stockburn, every born from a unique girl: Rob Schneider, Taylor Lautner, Terry Crews, Luke Wilson and Jorge Garcia, that may assist him in having the cash, however not without some hassle by the aforementioned one-eyed gang and with varied loopy characters met alongside the way in which, when Frank hopes to get wealthy with their son's authentic cash and the newfound cash, Tommy will cease him sparing his life. As soon as within the Indian village Tommy marries the Indian lady seen originally. I attempted to clarify the plot in one of the best ways attainable as there may be rather more to it. Plenty of humorous moments, humorous cameos by different actors who already labored with Sandler: John Lovitz, Harvey Keitel, Steve Buscemi, John Turturro, David Spade, Vanilla Ice, a nifty soundtrack. My favorite second should have been the one when Keitel has a combat with Wilson within the saloon and after some time he loses his head, for actual. Additionally, the Lincoln flashback got here out the blue in a great way. Do not believe the various unfavorable opinions for this one as a result of I personally discovered it very humorous in some factors and I did not even anticipated it. And in addition to, who would have ever guessed that Adam Sandler would have made a Western launch straight to Netflix? If you need some humorous film for a lazy night at residence, it is well worth the journey. Manufacturing The Ridiculous Six had been in manufacturing by Columbia Photos, Paramount Photos and Warner Brothers, however was dropped by all three. 4. The latter dropped out quickly after Adam Sandler and completely satisfied Madison Productions signed a 4-picture cope with Netflix, though an insider famous to the Hollywood reporter that the deal had nothing to do with their resolution. By January 2015, Netflix picked up the movie with others becoming a member of the Solid together with Taylor Lautner, Nick Nolte, Blake Shelton, Steve Buscemi, Rob Schneider, Will Forte, Vanilla Ice and Luke Wilson. On February 16, 2015, Jorge Garcia joined the Solid. Principal images started on February 20, 2015, and ended on Might 2, 2015. On April 23, 2015, Indian Nation in the present-day media community reported that roughly a dozen native actors and actresses, in addition to the native cultural advisor, left the set of Adam Sandler's latest movie manufacturing, The Ridiculous Six, in protest of its portrayal of the Apache tradition. The New York Day-by-Day Information later reported that there have been solely 4 who left, out of over 100 Native American actors on the set. 8. Navajo Nation tribal members Lauren Anthony and movie scholar Allison Younger stated they left as a result of they felt the movie portrayed Native people in a unfavorable mild and took satire too far. Additionally, they complained that the portrayal of girls was degrading. A consultant of Netflix responded saying, "The film has ridiculous within the title for a purpose, as a result of its ridiculous. It's a broad satire of Western motion pictures and the stereotypes they popularized. That includes a various solid that isn't solely a part of, however in On, the Joke." On Might 4, 2015, the New York Day-by-Day Information reported that Ricky Lee, one of many Native American actors on the Ridiculous Six set, stated earlier information studies had been exaggerated and certainly there have been solely 4 actors who left, however there have been 150 extras, together with grandmas and grandpas and youngsters, who stored working. Apparently, earlier than the movie's wrap celebration, he and several other different actors had been approached by Sandler to discuss the controversy. Lee thought that those that left raised legit points. Nevertheless, it was the fallacious battlefield. What on earth is fallacious with some folks? To what normal do they maintain motion pictures? Political correctness is taking on the world, and folks can now not simply chill and have a superb snicker at some corny, however very amusing, jokes and visible humor. I admit it. I'm an Adam Sandler fan. There, I stated it. Not too long ago, he has been a bit off form, however this film marks a return to type. It has an awesome solid, with all of the previous Sandler buddies popping up, and we get some nice cameos from different stars of movie and music. The jokes are largely huge hits. The surroundings is beautiful, the music rolls alongside properly. John Turturro nearly steals the film together with his flip as Abner Doubleday. His scenes are simply hilarious, particularly for followers of baseball. I will say no extra on that to keep away from a spoiler. Lautner sends himself up hilariously. Rob Schneider and his burro are glorious. Terry Crews, Luke Wilson and Jorge Garcia are additionally glorious. They type the ridiculous six. Will Forte, Steve Zahn, Danny Trejo, Nick Nolte and their baddies play their roles hilariously. Blake Shelton's Wyatt Earp, together with John Lovitz, David Spade and Vanilla Ice type a loopy poker crew. Significantly, don't hassle studying the opinions or paying any consideration to the rating right here. 4.9 as I write this, simply watch the film. You will have an awesome snicker. I solely hope Netflix commissions a sequel, as a result of I need extra of the ridiculous six and burro. I've seen that there are fairly a number of folks on the market giving this film a nasty evaluate. At first, I could not perceive why. After desirous about it, I noticed that these are usually not followers of completely satisfied Madison movies. There are people who seen names like Harvey Keitel and Dan Patrick, and thought that this was some blockbuster movie or one thing. Then, after watching it, they go away a nasty evaluate right here as a result of they discovered the movie to be goofy, or silly humorous, and never a lot else. Hello, there are many completely satisfied Madison movies on the market, going again as early because the 90s. You did not know this was going to be a goof fest? For followers of completely satisfied Madison movies, this film is strictly what you'd anticipate. A ton of guffaws and a superb time, with a tiny little bit of poking enjoyable on the Western movies style. Not an excessive amount of although. I am a fan of Westerns, and I completely loved this film. In comparison with different completely satisfied Madison movies, it is no completely satisfied Gilmore or Billy Madison, nevertheless it's up there. With that being stated, it's what it's. It is a completely satisfied Madison movie. Though I like all these motion pictures, they do not garner greater than 6 stars, except they're completely satisfied Gilmore or Billy Madison. In my view that's, should you're in search of a superb time and many laughs, you've got discovered the precise movie. Who knew Taylor Lautner may play such a hilarious position?